Welcome to part 12 of What If Naruto X Ino. Sadly to say, this is the last part of this fanfic. We have reached the end, but nonetheless I am happy that you all enjoyed it. The support is really nice to have. If you could comment the next ship for Naruto to do, then that would be nice as well. Link in description. Ease This Broken Heart by Ski Maiden. Chapter 20. Epilogue. Thank you for everything. A blonde youth ran around the streets of Konoha in search of something, or rather someone. The young resident ran faster, leaving mayhem and chaos in their way. Items were turned over on the ground, people were shouting and screaming, dogs were barking. The blonde stopped for a minute to draw something on the side of a building. There was something about the blank space that needed some special attention. Unfortunately, someone had witnessed the whole display. Uzumaki. The blonde turned around to see a tall brown-haired male standing there. He looked displeased. "Oh, hi Iruka-sensei." She smiled. "What on earth are you doing?" She paused. "I wasn't doing anything." "Nothing you say. Did you or did you not cause all this destruction?" He pointed to the mess behind him. The young girl, no more than 6, just shot Iruka her trademark smile. She knew that she was the immediate cause for all the damage. They both knew that. No. She shook her head. "I didn't do it." Iruka sighed heavily. "I'm going to have to tell your mom." But before he could say more, the young girl ran off. "Uzumaki, get back here." She laughed out loud but did not stop running. Sorry Iruka-sensei, but I have to go now." Iruka just stood there staring after her. It was all really pointless to go after her. She would do whatever she wanted to do anyway. A small smile rose to his face. She's such an energetic child. So much like her parents. The young Uzumaki continued running along in search of someone. She knew he had to be around here somewhere. She had to hurry and find him before her grandfather caught up to her. He was most likely somewhere close by. "Where are you?" she wondered. When she came towards some trees, she noticed a tall blonde-haired male sitting underneath one. He had his eyes closed as he slept peacefully. A huge smile exploded onto her face. She had finally found him. She ran over to the sleeping man and stood in front of him. "Hey old man," she shouted. There was no response from him as he continued to sleep. He looked so peaceful she almost couldn't wake him. Well, almost was right. The blonde girl put her hand to his arm and began to shake him. "Old man, wake up or you won't get any more Ikirakus." Immediately a pair of cerulean blue pools opened. He had definitely heard that. Oh Megumi-chan. Naruto smiled down at his little girl. It took him a minute to get out of his sleeping stupor. What in the hell was his little girl doing out here, unsupervised at that? "Shit, Ino will kill me." Megumi just blinked. Her own cerulean blue pools gazing into her father's. "Megumi-chan, what are you doing out here?" "I came to find you, old man." Naruto sighed and hung his head down low. Megumi never called him daddy, not once since she had begun to talk. She had always affectionately referred to him as old man. Naruto was beginning to doubt if she would ever call him anything else. He just gave her a smile. "You came all the way out here just to find me?" "Yep." She grinned. He couldn't help but smile at his beautiful little girl. She was the spitting image of her mom, with his cerulean blue pools and the sandy blonde hair of her grandfather Inoichi. She was really adorable no matter how much trouble he felt she was. "So you escaped from your grandfather then?" he asked and placed the small child in his lap. "No, he was right behind me. And he still is." Naruto's eyes widened slightly as he heard Inoichi's voice. He looked to see the sandy blonde male heading towards them. "Inoichi-san." "Grandpa." Megumi smiled and ran to hug him. Inoichi reached down to capture her in his arms. "Hello, my little princess. Did you think that you could get away from me?" "I only wanted to find the old man." She defended herself. Inoichi chuckled lightly while Naruto could only shake his head. He wanted her to call him dad at least once in her life. "Megumi-chan, I'm not that old." Megumi then ran back over to her father. She put her hands to his cheeks and patted his face. "Yes, you're older than me, aren't you?" Naruto just put his hand to her head and rubbed her sandy blonde locks. "Alright, whatever you say, Megumi-chan." Inoichi couldn't help but to enjoy this little father-daughter display. It was very sweet. "So son, how is Ino-chan doing?" "She's fine, sir," Naruto answered. "She's at home." "Yes, I assumed she would be." I suppose you and Megumi can handle things from here. Yeah. Naruto nodded and gave the thumbs up. We'll be fine. You won't lose sight of her, will you, Naruto? You know how energetic our little Megumi is. Inoichi teased. Naruto looked offended at those words. He wasn't some incompetent fool who would lose his own child. Hey, I wouldn't lose track of her. Calm down, son. I was only kidding, although there was that one time where you did lose her at the store. Naruto turned red from embarrassment while Megumi looked surprised. This was the first time she was hearing anything about this. You lost me? She asked. How could you? She looked upset. Naruto just laughed nervously while she continued to stare up at him. He ran his fingers through his spiky blonde locks. Well, Megumi-chan, you see, it was a long time ago. Naruto and Ino had been grocery shopping that day. There was literally no one around to watch their 9-month-old daughter, so they had to bring her along. Naruto, I am going to grab some milk. Hold Megumi, please. Sure thing, Ino-chan. She put the small blue-eyed child into Naruto's awaiting arms. Oh, and don't you lose her whatever you do. Come on, Ino-chan, have some faith in me. She's my daughter too, you know. Yeah, I know, but I also know how distracted you can get. I'll be right back. Bye, sweetheart. She leaned over and Naruto leaned forward too. He was expecting to receive a kiss from his wife but felt nothing. She had been talking to Megumi as she left a kiss on the baby's cheek. Where is my kiss? He wondered. You'll get yours later. She winked and walked away. Megumi let out a giggle while Naruto sighed. I guess fathers don't get any love. He knew that he was supposed to wait right here for her to come back, but he suddenly remembered that he hadn't bought any instant ramen. I'm sure your mom won't mind if we go and get some ramen, right, Megumi-chan? Megumi just clapped her hands together and giggled again. He took this as a sign that she agreed with him. The father and daughter made their way to find him some ramen. Naturally, all the many different flavors had distracted the blonde man. As he stood hungrily staring at all the flavors, Megumi had ended up crawling away from him. So many flavors, he whispered. Megumi kept right on crawling, knocking down several items as she traveled along the store. She had a feeling the blonde man would come to find her. Naruto, on the other hand, grabbed at least one of each flavor of the packaged ramen. Hey Megumi, we made out pretty good, huh? When he didn't hear any sort of response, he began to panic. Megumi-chan. Oh shit, where did she go? He froze when he heard footsteps. I knew that I would find you over here with the ramen, of course. Ino spoke. He turned around to face his wife. Oh, Ino-chan, you're back so soon. I just went to get some milk, that's all. Naruto, where's Megumi? She immediately asked. Don't get mad. He put his hands up in a defensive manner. Don't get mad, she repeated. What the hell happened? Before he could explain, a voice was heard that caught their attention. Whose baby is this? It had to be their Megumi. Who else could manage to garner up some attention? Megumi. They shouted together and ran off to find their daughter. Fortunately, they found her sitting on some boxes of cookies. Megumi. Ino shouted out and took her into her arms. Thank God you're okay. No thanks to Naruto Baka over here. Megumi pouted and stuck her tongue out at her father. Naruto stood there with his mouth wide open. Ino-chan, did you see that? She's teasing me. She's a baby, Naruto, don't be silly. But, he protested. Come on, let's go home, okay? I think she's had enough adventure for one day. The blonde male could only sigh in defeat as he followed behind his wife and daughter. She's going to be a handful, I just know it. And of course he had been completely right about that. Everyone knew who Megumi Uzumaki was, and that wasn't necessarily a good thing. Was mommy really mad? Megumi asked. Yes, she was pretty mad, but I made it up to her. How? She wondered. Naruto blinked a few times and turned red, as well as Inoichi. How the hell is he going to explain this one? The older man wondered. Naruto knew he couldn't very well explain the details of how he made everything right again. The blue-eyed child stared in anticipation at her father. She obviously wanted some type of answer. We played a game. Yeah, that's right, a game. A game? Oh, like your ninja games. Yeah, Naruto nodded. But Megumi-chan, being a ninja isn't a game, you know. It's a lot of hard work, but I'm sure you'll be just fine. Yeah, I'll be a great ninja just like you, and mommy, and grandpa. That's right. Inoichi patted his granddaughter on the head. You got it, Megumi-chan. You've got the best of the best genes in you. Naruto grinned. He saw no reason why she wouldn't grow up to be a great shinobi. She was after all his daughter and she came from some great shinobi. Megumi smiled as well. You'll be fine kiddo, just remember no pressure, okay? Mom and I love you no matter what. She nodded. I should be going now though. Inoichi soon spoke. I have a mission. Are you still doing missions, old man? Naruto teased his father-in-law. He was definitely less afraid of the older man since he married his daughter. I am not old, son. I could easily take you down. Inoichi gave a warm smile to the whisker-faced male. He enjoyed the relationship he had with his son-in-law. It was a good thing that Naruto had leaned to loosen up a lot. I'm still waiting for the day, Inoichi-san. Inoichi nodded and then kissed Megumi on the cheek goodbye. Goodbye, princess, look after your father here. Hey, I resent that. I'm the adult here. Naruto felt as if he had to keep reminding everyone of that. He was only kidding, right, Grandpa? Yeah, I was mostly kidding. Well, take care you two, I'll see you when I return. Bye. Bye, Inoichi-san. Bye, Grandpa. Megumi waved to the tall sandy blonde. And with that he was gone, leaving the father and daughter alone. You and Grandpa are funny. Yeah, well, would you believe I used to be really afraid of him? Naruto laughed. Megumi was a little surprised by this. The only people she thought her father feared was her mom and Tsunade-san. But I thought you were only afraid of mommy. Naruto paused as she said this. I am not afraid of your mom. Oh yeah, well, she's heading this way. What? Naruto panicked. Where is she? He stood up and began looking around for any sign of the platinum blonde. Megumi chuckled at his facial expression. I was just kidding, old man. Naruto let out a defeated sigh. The only time he could really remember being scared of Ino was when she was pregnant with Megumi. Those were some rough times. She had been so moody and out of control. It was always, Naruto, do this. Naruto, get this. This is all your fault, and so many times she said that she hated him. He wasn't sure when those 9 months were going to end, but he had been glad when they did. It wasn't all bad though. He could remember one beautiful moment in particular. A moment he knew that he would never forget. Naruto had surprised his wife with a beautifully set up picnic for two. They had just come from her doctor's appointment and he thought that this would be a nice way to end the day. He carefully helped the clearly pregnant Ino sit down. Naruto, I'm okay. You don't have to baby me so much. Hey, I just want to take care of the two of you. You can't blame me for that, right? He gave her a smile. Ino couldn't resist that smile of his. It caused her to smile right back at him. No, I can't blame you. He sat down across from her and was about to hand her something to eat. Eat up, okay, Ino-chan. You are eating for two after all. Yeah, I definitely haven't forgotten. Look at how huge I am. No way, you're beautiful. Thanks for trying to cheer me up. She appreciated the gesture. He shook his head and leaned over to kiss her on the lips. I meant it. Yeah, thank you. So what did you bring? I'm starved. She couldn't help but notice he had some ramen, of course. I'm not really in the mood for ramen. Come on, Ino-chan, it will make you feel better. You're not turning our child into a ramen-loving O. She paused. A worried expression rose to the whisker-faced man's face. Ino-chan, what's wrong? Are you okay? Why, yeah. She nodded. I'm fine. I just felt the baby kick. Really? Naruto spoke. Yeah, come here, feel. Ino took Naruto's hand and pressed it to her stomach. He waited in anticipation but felt nothing. He was immediately disappointed. He had wanted to feel the baby kick too. I don't feel anything. Just wait, okay, you'll feel it. So he waited patiently to feel what she had felt. It took a few moments but he soon felt the kick. Wow. He smiled. Yeah, she smiled back. Did you feel it? Yeah, I did. What a kick, that's my boy. He cheered. It might be a girl. Ino reminded him. Yeah, you're right. As long as it's healthy then I don't care what it is. Ino put her hand over his as they enjoyed the moment together. He then remembered something he read in his father's journal a while back. Ino couldn't help but notice his silence. What's wrong, Naruto? I was just thinking about my father and what he wrote in his journal. He said when he felt me kick at my mother it was the most amazing feeling ever. He was right, it is amazing. He spoke and affectionately rubbed her stomach in which he felt another strong kick. Yeah, this kid is going to be something. Definitely, Ino agreed. This baby is an Uzumaki after all. It has you for a father. She had no idea how much he truly appreciated her saying those words to him. He wanted to be the best father he could be. Megumi stared up at her dad. He seemed to be in deep thought. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong, Megumi-chan. I was only thinking, but I promise you I'm not afraid of your mother. You can't be scared, old man. How can you be afraid if you want to take Tsunade Ba-chan's job and be the Hokage? She sounded out. I will be the Hokage one day. Naruto said confidently. Ba-chan is just too stubborn to give it up. Naruto laughed. But I'll definitely be Hokage. Megumi nodded and then wrapped her arms around his leg in an attempt to hug him. I believe you. You do. Naruto blinked. You aren't going to tease me or say that I'm just a stupid old man. Nope. The blue-eyed child shook her head. I believe you because you always do what you say. She smiled and he couldn't help but smile down at his little girl. He bent down to capture her in a tight hug. Thank you, Megumi-chan, he whispered. He soon broke away from their hug. So are you ready to go home now? Can we get some candy first? Well, we're already out, so I guess your mother won't mind. Can I ride on your shoulders? He couldn't say no to her. He carefully placed his little girl on his shoulders. All right, let's go get that candy. He spoke cheerfully. And hopefully some ramen too. He thought to himself. Meanwhile, 3 young women were sitting at a tea house drinking and enjoying their time together. It's a really nice day today. The pink-haired one spoke. Yeah, the brunette agreed. It's too bad that Ino couldn't be here. I miss Ino-chan, the blue-haired female said next. We haven't seen her in a while. I miss her too. Sakura nodded. We should go by her place and see her. Tenten suggested. It wasn't a bad idea to go and visit their friend. It wasn't as if she would be coming to hang out with them. Alright, Sakura started. Let's. You guys aren't planning on leaving now, are you? Especially when I just got here. They heard an all too familiar voice. The 3 young women turned around to see their platinum blonde friend standing there. Ino. They all spoke together. Hey guys. Sakura and Tenten quickly walked over to help their friend sit down. She was after all 6.5 months pregnant with her and Naruto's second child. What are you doing out? Sakura immediately asked. Yeah, I thought Naruto was keeping you under house arrest. Naruto had certainly taken to being the overprotective husband once they found out about their latest addition. He wanted her to do nothing but stay off her feet and rest. It wasn't as if she didn't appreciate it, but she didn't want to be treated like she was helpless. Please. Ino laughed. No man keeps me down, you guys know that. Naruto-kun is just worried about you and the baby Ino-chan. Hinata reminded her. Yeah, I know. He's so nervous, it's cute. I think he's more nervous now than when I had Megumi. And he was definitely a wreck back then. Tenten laughed as she remembered how panicked the young man was. She was sure that she had never seen him act so nervous in his entire life. It's Naruto, what can you expect? Sakura gave a smile. He's taking good care of me, like always, but I just had to get away for a while. I couldn't take being in the house another second. She had only decided to go for a walk but was glad to have spotted her friends. It would be nice to catch up with them for a bit, before Naruto started up the search party, of course. Where is Naruto anyway? He went out earlier. I think he was in the mood for ramen. And Megumi is with my father, so I was home alone. In other words, you saw your opportunity and took it. You got it. Ino smiled. She knew she would have to get home before he did though. The last thing she wanted was to worry him. He was already on edge as it was. Either way, it is good to see you. Yeah, I missed you guys. We don't really hang out much these days. Well, you're too busy, Ino. You're a mom. Wow, I still can't believe that you were the first one of us to become a mother. I thought for sure that Hinata would have been the first. The blue-haired female turned slightly red. Are you saying that I'm not mom Are you saying that I'm not mom material? Ino asked. It isn't that, Ino, don't get mad, it's not good for the baby. Sakura reminded her. I'm fine, don't worry. But yeah, I get your point. Hinata is the one I thought would be a mom first. Speaking of which, when are you and Kiba going to start? Speaking of which, when are you and Kiba going to start? Ino asked. Ino-chan. She turned red again. The other three young women laughed at that all too familiar behavior. Yeah, Hinata, you'd better hurry if you want to catch up to Naruto and Ino before they start a small village of their own. Hey, Ino exclaimed. We are not starting our own village. This one was just unexpected, that's all. Just like our favorite little troublemaker. Ino knew they were referring to her Megumi. The platinum blonde was aware of how energetic she was. She isn't. Well, maybe. Okay, so she's a little rambunctious. How is our favorite Hellraiser? Sakura asked. Sakura, she isn't. I love Megumi, don't get me wrong. She's the cutest thing ever. Oh yeah, she's definitely a cutie. Tenten agreed. She's just a lot to handle sometimes. You remember when we were watching her and she got away from us? Yeah, it took everyone to go find her. Kiba, Lee, Choji, Neji, everyone was needed. We did find her, thank goodness. Hinata said. Yeah, Sakura laughed. Thank goodness Shikamaru found her, or did she find him? Remember how cute they both looked sleeping underneath the tree? Ino, Tenten, and Hinata each gave the green-eyed female a look. So forehead, how are things with you and Shika? Ino asked. She turned bright red. We're just friends. Sakura quickly spoke up. Yeah right, Tenten scoffed. Why don't you tell that to him then? Huh, he's right outside. He is. Sakura turned around to see that he was indeed walking by. He hadn't seemed to notice anything though. I'll invite him in. Tenten spoke. No don't. But it was too late, the brunette was already gone. Oi Shikamaru. Ino couldn't help but laugh. Oh, Tenten, are you busy? Come in and have some tea with us. Us? Shikamaru questioned. Yeah, come have some tea with me, Hinata, Ino's here. What? Naruto let her out. Tenten chuckled. Yes, she broke out just to get some air. Sakura's here too. He didn't say anything but nodded and followed behind the brunette. Look who I found, guys. It's Shikamaru. Sakura turned another shade of red and hoped that no one noticed. She might have had just a slight crush on the lazy ninja. Hey Shika. Ino spoke and hugged her friend. Hey, what are you doing out? I thought Naruto wasn't taking his eyes off of you. Yeah, well, Naruto doesn't exactly know that I left the house. It'll be our little secret. Ino grinned. The ponytailed male nodded. His attention then drifted over to the pink-haired medic Nin. She seemed to be a little on edge. Sakura. Hey Shikamaru. Ino, Tenten, and Hinata stared in anticipation at the two of them. But when nothing else was said, Ino was the first to sigh in frustration. She had been hoping for a long time for something to happen between the two of them. You guys make me sick. When are you two going to hook up already? Calm down, Ino, getting upset isn't good for the baby. Oh yeah, use my pregnancy as an excuse. Ino rolled her eyes. Are you doing okay though? Shikamaru asked with clear concern. The platinum blonde gave a firm nod. I'm okay. This baby doesn't seem to be as wild as Megumi. She used to really kick at me constantly, and those cravings, my god. How could she forget about all those weird and strange things she consumed during those 9 months? Second pregnancies are often easier than the first. Sakura reminded her. Well, no one is like Megumi. Shikamaru started. God help you and Naruto if this one is anything like her, oh no offense. None taken, my little angel is special. Ino firmly believed this. Of course she is. The green-eyed female nodded. She is my goddaughter, of course. Sakura smiled proudly. She couldn't wait to teach Megumi all of the things she had learned from Tsunade-sama over the years. Yeah, Shikamaru nodded. She'll be okay. And she had so much energy, she'll make a great ninja. Hinata spoke. Ino agreed. Yeah, she'll be great just like her dad. I'm not sure whose personality Megumi inherited. Tenten began. But she's definitely the spitting image of you, Ino. You two look so much alike, it's crazy. She's a mini-me. Ino spoke proudly. Megumi did look exactly like her, but she did have Naruto's eyes. She loved that beautiful shade of blue. Poor kid. Shikamaru whispered with Sakura chuckling. It did not go unnoticed by Ino. Hey, watch your mouth, Shika, or I'll kill you. Yeah, don't upset the pregnant lady. Tenten laughed. I was only kidding, Ino, relax. She may be very troublesome, but she's still my goddaughter. That's right, she is. You and Forehead here are her godparents. She adores the two of you. We love her too, Sakura said. And we're all going to love the new one too. Oh. Tenten interrupted. Speaking of the new baby, we never did throw you another baby shower. Are you sure that's a good idea, Tenten? Shikamaru wondered. No thanks. Ino shook her head. I'm still reeling over the first one. Ino wasn't sure what was going on, but Naruto had been really secretive all day. The only thing he said was that he had a surprise planned. But pregnant and hormonal was really taking its toll on the platinum blonde. Naruto, what's going on? It's a surprise, Ino-chan. He held her hand and led the way to a very familiar spot. Ino remembered where they were going because she had always liked coming here to think as a teenager. It was her favorite spot. She was a little surprised that he remembered. You remembered, she whispered thoughtfully. Yeah, I never forget, you know that. She smiled at her husband. But before she could finish speaking, something was heard that distracted her. Surprise. Huh. Ino looked to see Sakura, Hinata, Tenten, Shikamaru, Lee, Kiba, Choji, Neji, even Iruka, Shizune, Enko, and Tsunade herself. What's going on? Ino wondered. It's your baby shower, Ino pig, come sit down. They sat her down in a big comfortable purple-colored chair. Yeah kid, we couldn't very well not throw you and your little brat a party. Enko smiled. Hey, our kid is not a brat. Naruto spoke up. Yeah, well, we'll see when little Enko is born. The whisker-faced male shuddered at the very thought of naming his child after the snake mistress. That was the last name in the world he would ever even consider. For the last time, we aren't naming our child after you. What was that? Enko snarled. Enko-sensei, Naruto, will you two please calm down? Ino asked. Okay fine, we don't want to upset the little woman here. That's right. Tsunade intervened. Ino doesn't need any stress right now. Naruto nodded in agreement. The last thing he wanted was for Ino to be stressed out. Yeah, Ino-chan needs to take it easy, so let's just have a good time, okay? Hell yeah, I'm down for a good time. Kiba cheered. Hinata placed her hand onto the brown-haired male's shoulder. Calm down, okay, Kiba-kun. Huh, oh right. He's totally whipped. Choji muttered while eating some potato chips. What was that? Oh, nothing. The light brown-haired male chuckled. Kiba glared at Choji but decided not to provoke him. He wouldn't want to cause a scene at Ino's baby shower. Nothing would be worse than making Ino upset right now. All hell was bound to break loose then. Let's open up some presents. Sakura interrupted. Yeah, that sounds good. Together Ino and Naruto opened up the gifts from their friends. There were gifts like toys, blankets, and baby books. This one is from me. Naruto soon handed her a golden locket. Naruto, you really shouldn't have. Open it, okay? He smiled. She opened the locket to see there was a picture of the two of them inside. The other side of the locket was empty. When the baby is born, we can put his or her picture right there. Ino smiled up at the man she loved so much. She stood up to give him a hug. He was so very thoughtful. It's a very sweet gift, Naruto, thank you. Everyone smiled at the couple as they leaned in for the kiss. Okay, you lovebirds, this one is from me and Shikamaru. Sakura spoke up. No, it was your idea. I just agreed it was nice. The lazy ninja said. Sakura rolled her eyes and decided not to say anything in response. The pink-haired medic nin handed Ino a pink-colored music box. Sakura, it's really beautiful. It's for the baby. I have a really good feeling that it's going to be a girl. Do you really think so, Sakura-chan? Naruto asked. Yep. Sakura nodded. I think so. I saw the music box and just had to buy it. I hope she likes it. She'll love it, Sakura, I'm sure of it. Well, I guess that's it for presents, right? No, Lee interrupted. Ino, Naruto, you did not open mine. Oh no. The couple thought to themselves. They were both nervous about this gift of Lee's. Just what in the world would they be faced with? The black-haired male came over to them with his gift in his hands. Oh my god, what did this guy buy? Ino thought nervously. She closed her eyes and felt him place something in her hands. Ino-chan, it's okay, you can look. She reopened her eyes to see that it wasn't anything weird. In fact, it was one of the most beautiful paintings she had ever seen. It was a portrait of Konoha at night. Lee, it's gorgeous. Yeah, don't you just love it? He painted it himself, Tenten said. This was a surprise for everyone. No one had any idea Lee was an artist. It's great, Lee. Naruto agreed. You can put it in her room if it's a girl like Sakura thinks. Ino wiped the tears from her eyes. Ino-chan, what's wrong? Oh no, this isn't very youthful at all. Ino-chan, why are you crying? It's just, I'm so happy. I am so glad you decided not to give us one of your green spandex suits for our baby. Lee's eyes suddenly got bright. Why did you want one for your little one? I have plenty. Oh no thanks Lee, this picture is perfect. Lee looked suddenly defeated. It's okay Lee-kun, don't worry about it. Tenten tried to cheer him up. Okay, well, how about some cake? Cake. Choji definitely heard that. Oh boy, I've seen this kid in action, we're done for. Enko spoke. Shizune just chuckled while Iruka looked worried. Well, as long as there is enough cake to go around we should be fine. He said. Cake and sake for everyone. Tsunade cheered. Oh, she looked over to the platinum blonde. Everyone gets some sake except for you, Ino. It's not good for the baby. Yeah, you don't want the kid to be as slow as its dad. Kiba laughed. Shut up, Kiba. Naruto shouted. He wanted to punch him but decided against it for Ino's sake. From there the cake was cut and sake was given to everyone except for Ino. She had opted for water instead. Things seemed to be going well until that last slice of cake was left. Hey, we're done to the last slice of cake, who wants it? I do. Both Ino and Choji said at the same time. Both of them glared at each other. Choji, it's my party after all. Yeah, well, I think the last slice should be mine. Hey, I'm the pregnant one here. I'm getting the last slice. But Ino, it'll go straight to your thighs and you wouldn't want that, right? So in a way I'm doing you a favor. He laughed. But Ino did not look amused, in fact she looked completely offended. Why you? She growled. You fat. Fat. He shouted back. I am not fat. Naruto quickly ran over to the arguing friends. He had to get Ino away from there before Choji lost his mind. Ah, come on Ino-chan, let him have the last slice. Hey, you're supposed to be on my side. Everyone stand back, they're both going to blow. The purple-haired woman said. Which was worse, an angry, pregnant Ino or an upset, hungry Choji? No one wanted to find out. Come on guys, let's just enjoy this youthful moment together. Lee intervened. Everyone turned to face the black-haired male and shouted in annoyance. Shut the hell up, Lee. It wasn't so bad, Ino. Choji and I didn't speak for a whole week after that. Tsunade-sama was drunk out of her mind by the end of it. And Enko-sensei. She paused. Well, don't get me started on her. Yeah, the friends nodded. They did not need reminding. Alright then, no second baby shower. Tenten said. It was really nice of you guys to throw me one. But I don't think we need to have another one. Besides, with the way Naruto is keeping an eye on me, we won't be going anywhere for the next 3 months. She was partly serious about that. Naruto wasn't letting her too far out of his sight. He loves you, Ino. He's going to want to look out for you. Shikamaru reminded her. Yeah, Ino whispered thoughtfully as she stared down at her wedding ring. I know, Shika. I'm really lucky. Meanwhile, Naruto and Megumi were walking the streets of Konoha. She had long since stopped riding on her father's shoulders. She was now holding on to a rather large bag of candy. Thanks for the candy, old man. Naruto sighed. You're welcome, Megumi-chan. Hey, how about we get some ice cream before we go home? Wow, really? Sure, we're already out. Your mom is probably asleep anyway. Alright, that sounds good. Megumi agreed. He suddenly picked her up and put her back onto his shoulders. Thanks. She laughed. Sure. He smiled back. They were soon passing by Ikiraku's when Naruto felt his stomach grumble at the sight. You want some ramen, don't you? She asked knowingly. It can wait. Are you sure you love Ikiraku's? Well, I know that you don't really like ramen, Megumi-chan, so I'll get it later. I don't have a problem with ramen. He knew that she wasn't particularly fond of his favorite meal in the entire world. She inherited the trait from her mother. It hurt that she didn't care for ramen half as much as he did. It would have at least given them something to have in common. Yeah, huh, what did you say? It's not bad. I just can't eat it like you can. You swallow your ramen. She giggled. Megumi-chan, when did you start liking ramen? I've always liked it, old man, just not as much as you. No one likes it as much as you. Naruto just smiled. As long as she didn't despise ramen, then it was alright with him. You really are my daughter. He spoke happily. He remembered the time when she was smaller and he tried to feed her some ramen. She refused to eat it and he foolishly ended up asking Ino if she was really his daughter. That certainly pissed her off and earned him a slap across the face. Of course she's yours, you idiot. He remembered her tone of voice. Megumi just patted him on the head. Of course I am. Well, I'm glad you like Ikiraku's. It's important family history. Your mom and I used to go on dates there all the time. Did you guys get married at old man Teuchi's shop too? She was curious. At this Naruto laughed, not that he would have said no to getting married there. But of course Ino would have immediately shut that idea down. No, we got married on top of the Hokage monument. It's like our special place, so we decided to get married there. Hey, did you know that you were almost born in Ikiraku's? The small child on his shoulder's eyes widened at this news. You're joking. Yeah, Naruto chuckled. I almost thought you were going to be born right there. Luckily our friends and I got your mother to the hospital in time. It probably wasn't a good idea, but Naruto had convinced Ino to come out and have a bowl of ramen with him. She was very pregnant by now and looked as if he baby was going to pop out any day now. The blonde male helped her sit down. I'm glad you decided to come out with me, Ino-chan. Yeah, I was getting pretty restless back at home. She had been advised to rest and to take it easy, but she couldn't rest for some reason. Naruto put his hand to her shoulder. Don't worry, Ino-chan, he or she will be born really soon. Yeah, and I'm really nervous about it, she admitted. He took her hand within and gave it a squeeze. He wished he could take away an uneasiness she was feeling. The couple stared at one another for a minute. Everything will be okay, Ino-chan. I'm with you every step of the way. I know you will be. I love you, Naruto. I love you too. He leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. Hello, Naruto-kun, Ino-chan. Lee's voice was heard. Oh, hey Lee. The black-haired male gave them both the thumbs up. How are you feeling today, Ino? Tenten asked. Yeah, how's the little rug rat? Kiba asked. I'm fine. Ino nodded. And Kiba, don't ever call my baby a rug rat ever again. The brown-haired male just gave the platinum blonde a smile. Sure thing, Ino. You're probably really excited about the baby coming soon. Yes. I think the baby is excited too, it hasn't stopped kicking at me yet. You got a fighter on your hands, huh, Naruto? Naruto ended up smiling too. Hey, my kid is going to be amazing. And you know this for sure. How? Naruto frowned at Kiba's words. Shut up, Kiba, my kid will definitely be amazing and kick your future kid's butt. What? Kiba growled. You're on Uzumaki. Oh yeah, Naruto. Ino soon spoke. But he hadn't heard her right away because he was too busy yelling at Kiba. And furthermore, Naruto. She repeated. Naruto, I think Ino. Naruto. Huh, what is it, Ino-chan? I don't know if this is going to be problem for you, but. She paused. My water just broke. What? Naruto, Tenten, Lee, and Kiba all shouted out. Yeah, she nodded. Naruto immediately went into panic mode. This was the day he had waited many months for. He stood up. Okay, let's go. He started to run off. Naruto, you idiot, aren't you forgetting something? Oh shit, yeah, sorry, Ino-chan. He quickly picked her up and ran off with their friends following after them. I'll go get Sakura, Shikamaru, Hinata and the others. I'm sure they want to be there for this. Tenten said. Okay, we'll see you guys at the hospital then. Naruto just kept right on going, not planning on slowing down for a moment. Their baby was going to be born today. It did not want to wait any longer. Don't worry, Ino-chan, it'll be okay. Let's just get to the hospital, please. He nodded and picked up his speed. Once at the hospital, she was immediately rushed in. Kiba and Lee were waiting for the others while Naruto went in to be with his wife. There was no way in hell he would leave her alone, besides he said he would be there every step of the way and he meant it. I can't believe she's having the baby now. Kiba spoke. Yes, it is a most joyous occasion. Lee nodded. Lee, Kiba. Sakura's voice was heard and the others ran over to the two of them. Hey Sakura. What happened? Did we miss anything? Is Ino-chan okay? Hinata wondered. She's fine. You guys didn't miss anything. This is so exciting. Tenten spoke. I wonder if it's going to be a boy or girl. It'll definitely be a girl. Sakura seemed confident. Why are you so sure? The lazy ninja questioned the pink-haired young woman. I don't know. I just have a good feeling that it's a girl. My goddaughter, she thought happily. For a while nothing had been heard. Sakura was pacing nervously with Shikamaru watching her. Hey, you'll put a hole in the ground if you don't stop. No, I won't. Yeah, you will. Have you noticed your strength? She turned red slightly, then gripped her fist. I'm just excited, that's all. We all are. Tenten agreed. This is a very youthful time. We must all be joyous. Lee cheered. Fuck. Ano's voice was heard. Naruto, I hate you. Kiba laughed. Someone sounds like they're going to pay. It sounds like Naruto's getting an earful. Inside the room, Ino was squeezing the hell out of Naruto's hand. Ow, ow, he complained. Ino-chan, please be careful. Be careful, she repeated. We should have been. Damn it, she cursed again. I fucking hate you, it hurts so much. He put his free arm around her shoulder and kissed her on the forehead. He knew that this was only the pain talking. It'll be okay, I love you. He whispered to her. And for a while nothing was heard again, leaving everyone out in the hall worried. Geez, I hope everything is okay. Choji spoke nervously while eating his chips. She'll be fine, Shikamaru said. How can you be so sure, Shika? What if? Sakura stopped. The ponytailed male gently put his hand to her shoulder in an effort to help the green-eyed woman down. She'll be fine because she's Ino and Naruto's with her. She's in good hands. Sakura slowly nodded, finally calming down. Yeah, you're right, Shika. Back inside the room, Naruto was sure that his hand was broken in several places. But it would all be worth it in the end. Just one more push ought to do it. Okay, Ino-chan. Shizune told her. Okay. She breathed. A loud scream came from Ino's mouth and some cries were heard. The next thing Naruto knew, the small child was being taken from the comfort of its mother's womb. He saw some sandy blonde hair atop the child's head. It's a girl. It's a girl, Naruto whispered. The baby was cleaned and then placed into Ino's arms. Naruto stared down into those beautiful cerulean pools, his own eyes. She's beautiful, Ino whispered. She was worth it. Naruto nodded. She is beautiful, Ino-chan. She has your eyes. A yawn escaped Ino and she placed their daughter in his surprised arms. Hold her, okay. The next thing he knew, she had fallen off to sleep. Naruto kissed her on the forehead again. She had been completely amazing throughout the entire ordeal. He was so incredibly proud and amazed. You were wonderful, Ino-chan. He then looked over to the blonde-haired baby in his arms. Okay, little one, let's go show you off to everyone. He exited the room and entered the hallway. Sakura was the first one to spot him. Naruto, oh Naruto, what happened? Is everything alright? Yeah, he nodded. Everything's fine. She had a girl. She's so beautiful. Look at her. She's tiny. Hinata smiled. Hey Naruto, buddy, she's got your eyes. Naruto just stared down at his little girl. She was absolutely perfect. Yeah, she's perfect. Those cerulean blue pools were staring up into his. The child in his arms was staring up at him and only him. He knew for sure that he would love her forever. Nothing could change his feelings for this little person in his arms. Now I know how my father must have felt. What's her name, Naruto? Huh, oh, What is she going to be called, baby, for the rest of her life? No. He shook his head. It's Megumi. Megumi Uzumaki. So you named me? Megumi asked. Yeah, and your mother loved the name. So ever since then you've been Megumi. She opened her mouth to say something but paused when she saw a dark-haired male up ahead. Oh no. What's wrong, Megumi-chan? Look. She pointed. Naruto-kun, Megumi-chan. Oh. Naruto thought. Hi Lee. Truth be told, Lee did scare Megumi a little. Hello, how are you both on this very youthful day? Hi Lee-san. Megumi spoke. Let me down please. She asked to get off of his shoulders. Naruto helped his daughter back onto the ground. Megumi-chan, you look more and more like your mother every day. Lee said to her. Really? Yes, definitely. Lee smiled. How is everything, Naruto-kun? Everything's fine, Lee. Megumi-chan and I were just going to get some ice cream and then head home. But truth be told, ice cream was the farthest thing from Megumi's mind. She saw someone that got her attention. Mommy. Yeah, Megumi-chan, we're going to see mommy after this. No. The blue-eyed girl shook her head. I see her over there, mommy. What? Naruto shouted. Megumi broke off into a run for the tea house with Naruto and Lee running after her. Megumi-chan, wait. Yes, wait for us. Lee called out. Megumi ran straight into the tea house. Mommy. Huh. Ino immediately turned around. Megumi-chan. Hi mommy. She grinned and ran over to her mother. Ino's mouth was open as she saw her daughter before her. Just what in hell was she even doing out here? Megumi-chan, what are you doing out here? Where's grandpa? Ino-chan. Naruto called out to her as he came over to his wife and daughter. Hi Naruto, she smiled. She knew that she would have some explaining to do. He didn't smile back. Ino-chan, why aren't you at home resting? I needed some air. And what was Megumi doing out here, huh? I was with her. She ran away from your dad but he was right behind her the whole time. Megumi, did you run away from grandpa again? She started with a nervous expression on her face. Maybe. She's so cute. Sakura swooned. Hi, Auntie Sakura. She smiled and hugged the pink-haired woman. Oh no, not a chance, young lady. Ino spoke. Answer me. Alright, so I did run away from grandpa. Why? Ino wondered. You could have gotten lost or hurt. I'm okay mommy, I just went to find the old man. Oh I see. Naruto just sat down beside his wife. You still shouldn't have run away like that, alright? Your father and I would have been very worried. So please don't scare us like that. Alright mommy, I won't do it again. Naruto leaned over to put his hand to Ino's stomach. He was worried about her. Ino-chan, are you both okay? You should be home. Naruto, I'm fine, I promise. I just went to get some air but we're fine. The blonde male nodded and breathed a sigh of relief. It's cute how much you worry, Naruto. Tenten said lightheartedly. See, I told you he was a nervous wreck. I am not a nervous wreck. Naruto shook his head. You are too. Ino smiled and kissed him on the lips. Ew, gross mommy. Ino just laughed at her daughter's reaction. We love each other, sweetie, it's what people in love do. Yeah, and you'll find out about that much later, Megumi-chan. Naruto said. She simply blinked. She really didn't understand what her father meant by that. Megumi decided to just change the subject. Mommy, how's the new baby? Oh, the baby's fine, sweetheart. Is it kicking again? Can I feel? Sure. Ino smiled for her daughter. Megumi reached over and placed her hand to her mother's stomach. She waited for a while and suddenly felt the light kick of her new baby brother or sister. She let out a giggle. I felt my little sister. It might be your baby brother. I want a little sister though. Mommy, how did she get there? Silence filled the air as everyone wanted to see how Ino was going to explain this one to her 6-year-old daughter. We were playing a game. Naruto immediately answered. Ino breathed a sigh of relief. She was so not ready to have this conversation with Megumi just yet. Yes, that's right, we were playing a game. Ino nodded. Yeah, Megumi-chan, when a mommy and daddy love each other they play a really fun game. Tenten told her. She had a curious look in her blue orbs but she seemed to accept the answer. Okay. She nodded. I can't wait to see my baby sister. She seemed dead set on the new baby being a girl. Don't be too disappointed if it's a boy, alright Megumi. Shikamaru told his goddaughter. Okay Uncle Shika. Ino soon stood up with the help of Naruto. She figured that it was time to head back home before Naruto began to panic even more. Alright Megumi, we're going home, okay? I think we've all had enough excitement for today, right Naruto? Yeah, you're right. You should be off your feet. Yes sir, she nodded. Bye you guys. Next time I guess you'll be visiting me. Bye Ino. The friends waved. Take care of yourself, okay? Sakura hugged her precious goddaughter goodbye. Bye Megumi-chan, please be good for your mommy and daddy, okay? Megumi nodded but everyone doubted if the girl would be able to stay out of trouble for long. I will, she nodded. Bye Auntie Sakura, Uncle Shika, Hinata-san, Ms. Tenten and Mr. Lee. Goodbye Megumi-chan. Everyone spoke. We'll see you soon. And with that the family made their way back home. Megumi was walking in the middle of her parents as she held onto one of their hands. Naruto couldn't help but smile at his family. He was glad to finally have a family to call his very own. Him, Ino, Megumi, and the new baby-to-be. His family. What's wrong, old man? Megumi wondered. Nothing, I'm just thinking about how lucky I am, Megumi-chan. Oh, she nodded. He doubted if she would ever call him dad. He would just have to learn to live without hearing that word from her. He wasn't sure if he could do that though. She'll never call me dad, will she? He thought. Later that night, as Naruto and Ino were tucking their little girl into bed, she seemed to be restless. Megumi-chan, what's wrong? Mommy, old man, did you guys always love each other? She had to ask. Naruto and Ino glanced at each other for a moment. Naruto gave the thumbs up to Megumi and smiled. Of course, Megumi-chan, your mother was head over heels in love with me. Ino chuckled lightly as she put her hand to the back of his head. Liar, don't lie to her. Ino sat down on the opposite side of her daughter with Naruto sitting on the other side. Your father and I weren't always in love. In fact, we weren't really that close when we were younger. Yeah, Naruto nodded. Your mom's right. We were not friends when we're kids, far from it. Megumi blinked in confusion. She thought her parents had been together forever. Really? She asked. Yeah, I didn't like him much when we were kids. Yep. Naruto agreed. Your mother was a really loud, bossy, scary girl back then. Ino frowned and hit her husband upside the head. Ouch, Ino-chan. Watch it, Naruto. No, but seriously, we didn't hate each other or anything. We just didn't really get to know each other until we were older. So then how did you two fall in love? The blue-eyed child asked. Well, Megumi-chan, you see, it all started when your dad and I were about 17. We had this plan. We. Naruto repeated. No, Megumi-chan, it was all your mother's idea. Ino rolled her eyes but couldn't lie about that. Okay, so it was all my idea. I had a plan to help your father, only it ended up backfiring on both of us. Yep, neither one of us were expecting to actually like each other, especially not falling in love with one another. Naruto said. Ino nodded in agreement. The last thing she had ever anticipated was to fall in love with Naruto in the way that she had. But she never regretted a single thing that happened between them. Your dad was the absolute last guy, the first thought I ever fall for. But once I really got to know him, I was pleasantly surprised. He was fun, sweet, and the best guy I've ever known. He's also the only one I'll ever love. She spoke and stared over at her husband. Naruto grinned and reached for her hand. He gave it a slight squeeze within his. Your mom's right. I never thought I'd be with her. But getting to know her was the best thing that ever happened to me. There's no one else for me but her. You two are going to be together forever, right? Megumi asked hopefully. She wanted her parents to stay in love and always be together no matter what. Any child would want that. Yes, we'll always be together, okay, sweetheart. Ino promised. It'll always be just you, me, your father, and the new baby. My baby sister. Or brother. Naruto intervened. Yeah. Megumi let out a yawn. Thanks for telling me that story. Good night, mommy. Daddy. She closed her eyes. Huh. Naruto immediately looked to his daughter. Had he just heard correctly? Did he finally hear the words he had been dying to hear? Megumi-chan. The blonde-haired child had already fallen asleep. Naruto looked over to Ino. He had his one-of-a-kind smile on his face. Ino-chan, she just called me daddy. Yeah, I know, and it's about time. Come on, let's leave her to sleep. She took him by the hand and led him out of her room. He knew he would never forget this night for as long as he lived. She finally called me daddy. I've waited over 5 years for this moment. Ino nodded and hugged him. She loves you, Naruto, you know that, even if it took her this long to call you daddy. Naruto nodded. I love her too. Oh, and you too, little one. He spoke to his new child. Ino chuckled lightly. She was glad to see Naruto so happy. It made what she had to tell him a whole lot easier to say. Naruto soon noticed her silence. Ino-chan, is something wrong? Naruto. He took both of her hands into his and gave them a squeeze. You can tell me, all right, Ino. She nodded and then smiled for him. Okay, well then I guess it's not a bad time to tell you that we're having twins, huh? Naruto's eyes widened to the size of saucers and he fell out onto the floor. Naruto. She questioned. 2 babies. Megumi-chan times 2. He managed to say. Ino just gazed down at the man she so dearly loved as he kept mumbling about their 2 little additions. She should have probably told him about the twins sooner. I think he took it well. She thought. Naruto, are you okay? She asked. He got up off the floor, shaking off that nasty fall. Huh, Oh yeah, I'm fine. So, he rubbed his head. Did you say twins? Yeah, I sure did. You're a proud daddy to two new babies. I was a little nervous about telling you. Naruto shook his head and captured her lips in a passionate kiss. No way, Ino-chan, you shouldn't have ever been nervous. I'm happy. You are. Yes, the more the merrier. He said cheerfully. As long as it doesn't take 6 years for them to call me dad like with Megumi-chan, then we'll be just fine. Ino hugged him in a tight hug. 2 more Uzumakis to add to our little village, right? You got it, Ino-chan. I'm beyond excited. I love you. He kissed her again. I love you too, Naruto. The couple embraced again. He held her close to him and soon let her go to put his hands onto her very swollen stomach. We're having twins, he whispered. Yeah, she nodded and smiled. Well, now that you mention it, you are a little bit bigger than when you had Megumi-chan. He noticed. The smile from her face completely faded and she hit him upside the head. Ouch, he shouted. Naruto, watch your mouth, she nearly growled. He began to chuckle a little. I'm sorry, Ino-chan. You're still the most beautiful woman in the world, you know that. She blushed slightly at his thoughtful words and hugged him again. Huh, what's this for? It's just for being you. And I'm thinking about how very lucky I am. Look at all we have just because of that silly little plan of ours when we were younger. We have so much to be thankful for. You mean your plan, right, Ino-chan? Yes. She laughed a little. It was my idea, but you went along with it. He pulled her lips into another kiss. Yeah, and I'm really glad that I did go along with it, even if it was a stupid plan. Stupid, she repeated. That stupid plan brought me to you. You should be grateful I thought of it. She smiled. He put his hand to her head and stroked her hair slightly. He would always be grateful of having the chance to get to know the platinum blonde. Who knows how his life would have turned out if he didn't say yes to her idea. Would there be a Megumi, or these 2 new little ones to add to his family? He couldn't say for sure, but he was grateful for the way his life turned out. His life with Ino and his family was the best life he could possibly imagine. I'm grateful, Ino, believe me. So am I, she agreed. I'm glad we had the chance. Yeah, Naruto whispered and kissed her on the side of her head. I'm glad too. I love you more than anything. You and our family. I love you too, Naruto. She closed her eyes and allowed him to just hold her close to him. She could literally feel his heart beating through his chest. It gave her a comforting sort of feeling. Yeah, life is good, the 2 blondes thought to themselves as they stood in each other's embrace. This was perfect. This was the absolute definition of heaven to the 2 of them. It would always be just him and his family. Naruto would cherish his family for the rest of his life. Ino paused as she felt the twins kicking at her. Hey, did you feel that? They're kicking. Yeah, I felt it. They're strong. I'm glad. Me too, we'll have a lot of trouble on our hands with these 2 plus Megumi. Yeah, he agreed with her. But it'll be worth it. When should we tell Megumi she'll be a big sister to 2 babies? I wanted you to know first. We'll tell her soon. I still need some time for it to sink in first. I almost can't believe that you're going to have 2. You've made me a really happy man, Ino-chan, thank you. And you made me a very happy woman, Naruto. No one could make me as happy as you have. That she was positive of. They leaned in for another kiss before breaking away for air. Thank you for everything, they whispered to each other. Thank you all for listening to this fanfic all the way through. I appreciate it and am happy you guys girls liked it. If you want a specific ship, then let me know and I'll see what I can do.